Okay, let me talk about palm oil market in Nigeria. If you're talking of palm oil market in Nigeria, like I said, I come from the rural side where they process palm oil and everything. People come there, people come there to our village, then they come and buy in jerry cans and go and store it. You know why they store? See, I've explained this for farmers. Farmers live, they are not, most farmers are not financially comfortable. So once they harvest, they want to sell it off immediately because they want money. They want money at that immediate period. So immediately they are harvesting, they are selling off immediately. And now when they sell off, it's less because that period they want to sell off, all the farmers are harvesting, all the people are harvesting the palm at the same time. So when they now sell it off at cheap price, like the 25-liter jerry can, you might get it for 15,000, 10,000 and thereabout. Then in the next 2 months, the palm are no more with the farmers. It has moved away from the farmers. It's now with the people that stored it. And people are eating every day. People are cooking. It's not even only cooking. We'll get to what they are using palm oil for. It's people are cooking, people are using it for so many things. So because of that, the price keeps going up. So people, just like other farm produce, people now start releasing what they have in stock gradually, and the price keep going up until next year harvest again. So, and because the harvest they have is the local one that is not producing, that is produced like 3 tons, 4 tons per hectare. So you can imagine, so somebody having 10 hectares in the rural farmer, that's at 4 tons, that's 40 tons. You compare to somebody that plants hybrid, that from an hectare, it can now get 10 tons or 15 tons per hectare. So the palm oil market is a very great market in Nigeria. And not only Nigeria, other countries are exporting, but you know, we are importing. Now, there are 2 ways you can sell your palm oil when you plant. You can decide, because people don't like to go through the stress of processing, they sell palm fruits to processors. There are people that process, especially if you're in that community. Like I know in my community, people process it by themselves, natural way, local way, all the stuff. But there are processors that buy from you. They just come to your farm and pick it in bunch. But you know, you make more money when you process yourself. Now, so this is it. This is how you sell it to processors. You sell it out to them like this, in bunch, like this. You sell it in bunch. Now, palm fruit processing. There are 3 methods of palm fruit processing: the traditional rural techniques method, the mini processing plants, and the big processing plants. I'm going to explain them briefly. Now, for the palm fruit processing, traditional rural, palm fruit processing. For the traditional rural techniques, they call it mortar and pestle. You know, you can see the woman holding mortar and pestle. They'll be banging and knocking the mortar and pestle, and they are cooking the palm fruits in a pot. This is the process they do. Some put it in some place and they pan the cooked fruit in a wooden mortar. They mash it up using a vessel. These are the process. It's a long process, but this is local process. This is the first process, and it's common in most African countries, that because most of this palm belongs to rural farmers. The old palms, they belongs to rural farmers. So this is what happens with it. Now, excuse me, this is the mini processing plants. With time, people in the Niger Delta area, you know, they have plenty of it there. So they start developing this kind of machine that can, instead of the mama using mortar and grinding and going through all the wala and the stress, they use this type of things to pound it, to extract it, as in they start using this machine. They fabricate it. These are fabricated machines in Nigeria, and there are different stages, different types of it. Most people try to avoid this, but if you can, if you are planting, maybe if you are establishing your palm tree, you should be factoring this into it. Okay, in the next 4 years, that's when I'm expecting to process. I may look at a smaller one of this so that I can process it. I can process on my farm and then sell the oil. Now, these are the big processing, palm fruit processors. These are the good big processors. This is Okomu oil. It's in Delta State. I told you they have a very large hectare of palm oil. In their own case, they are planting hybrid. They are improving their hybrid, but whatever they have, is in Edo State. Hello, sir. Edo State, yeah, yes, sorry. Is in Edo State. So they are planting, they have a large hectare and they are the biggest palm producer in Nigeria. They have a very large hectares of land and they are even using security and every other things to protect their land, you know, because of a lot ahead. So they are the largest producer and what they are producing is not even, I told you we still import. They are not even exporting. They are not exporting. It's just Nigerian use alone. Now, okay, I've rushed everything. So now, for the oil producing states, we mentioned major oil palm producing states. We have include Enugu, Imo, Ondo, Edo, Cross River, and the state riverine area. See, palm loves water. The palm loves water. I mean, like, it loves palm loves water, as in it loves watering area. So most of the time, when people ask me, I say yes, it's good for watering area, except you can go through the irrigation system of what these other people are doing here. Look at it. What the guy is doing where they were planting the coconut here. You can see the system here. And if you don't have water, like I said, you can change your soil to fit into this system so that you have this type of system of soil for the coconut or for the palm oil. This is for coconut, the same method for palm oil. You can have that system for it. And now, so the oil producing area, it survives in tropical area. Good soil management will increase your yield, and water is required for the processing factor. And so palm oil storage, I just add this. I added this at the end of the class because I was thinking, this is palm oil storage business. This is outside cultivation or whatever, but is another aspect where people make money from it. Like I told you, is harvesting period. You see, I just explained it in my discussion today. I said palm oil is produced mainly in the riverine area in about 26 states of Nigeria. If you know all those states, if you can, during February, April, oil are very cheap there because, like I said, farmers just want to sell and sell and sell. So if you are in those areas or you are used to those areas, then you can do the storage system. So we've mentioned the states. You can store at cool temperature for 6 to 12 months, years. Like when you plant, you buy it around February, March, April, you can store it in the next year, but you must sell it off before the next harvesting season. Presently, I think it's about 20,000 or 25,000. I'm not sure for 25-liter jerry can. So now must not be on cement floor. Your palm oil must not be on cement floor. It's react with, there's something they use in producing the cement. So it reacts with it and it will change the taste of the oil. So it must not be on cement floor. You need to find a way to raise it up from the cement floor. It must not be. And so this is bringing us to the end of the class. I know I've rushed the class and I will be asking for questions. And then I will go back to my promise at the beginning of the class. This is where I will need the question. From the explanation I've made, the promise, I said, by the end of this class, that you should be able to know how you can explore and where you can tap money in palm oil value chain. One, you can tap money from the planting. That's where you plant hybrid. Don't just join the network or the caucus of planting, just ordinary tenera. And then when you are buying, please look for reliable source to buy your seed and seedling. Let me give you an instance. About 3 years ago, oh, not 3 years, my early year in the farm, should be about my early year in the farm. I went to Ibadan. I went to IRTA, whatever in Ibadan. There's a place, a government organization in Ibadan. I went to them to buy tomato seeds. I was using hybrid tomato seeds. I went there, I bought the tomato seed. The guy sold it for me and said it's a good one. I came back to the village, I planted the seeds. It's until 4 months after, when it started fruiting, that I discover is the same seed, the local extracted seed that the farmers are using. So what I'm trying to, so make sure the person you are buying from, well, even if it is government organization, make sure they guarantee you, they say, okay, if it's hybrid or if it is not hybrid, we're all just responsible. I don't know if I'm making sense, because so that you won't plant a seedling and then at the end of 3 years or 4 years, before you discover you've gotten a wrong seedling. That is one. Then two, palm oil business is a very good business. And like I said, when you plant palm oil, it can take you for the next 30, 40 years. It can take you for the next 30, 40 years as in harvesting. But like I said, the earlier investment is the most challenging period for it, because you get your land, you have to buy the land, you have to start clearing. Remember when I gave you the calculation, I said there's a lot of work to be done there. The calculation is good, it's nice, hey, there's money here. But believe me, you are going to spend money. You're going to spend money on manure, you're going to spend money on the digging the soil, you are going to spend, thank God I'm fast, my network again. You are going to spend money on digging the soil, you are going to spend money a lot. You are even going to spend money on some security issues. If you have land in area where it's not secure, you need to secure your land. These are things people don't tell you when you want to invest in things. You need to secure your land. One, because if you plant something and if you plant in an area where cattle and all this stuff, they will uproot it and trample on it. Or if you plant an area where, you know, so these are the things you need to consider. So, but apart outside those things, believe me, oil exploration, oil planting, palm plantation is a very good one to start it. It's a very good investment plan for somebody that really, okay, I want to plan for the next 10 years, 20 years, is a very good investment plan. So I will have to stop here so that we can accommodate questions.
Good evening, Ma. Can I go on my question?
Please hold on first. Let me
Okay.
that we start.